So Nekemia Levy Armstrong, the reverend that was a part of orchestrating that protest at that Minnesota church, has reportedly been arrested along with a few other protesters. And according to the United States Attorney General, Pam Bundy, there are more arrests to come, with many people wanting Don Lemon to be arrested. Now, one of the protesters that was at the church, a white guy, I didn't catch his name, but you can hear him clearly on the video when they barged into the church, telling the attendees there that they weren't Christians because they weren't out defending their Somalian brothers, or whatever he said. The same Somalians that were just reportedly found to be a part of a massive billion-dollar taxpayer fraud scheme where they were taking billions upon billions of taxpayer dollars and funneling them through fake child care businesses. So they're not Christians because they're not supporting fraud. And then turned around and said they weren't Christians because they weren't out protesting against ICE, which is an organization that's used to implement the law, getting illegal citizens out of the country. So they're not Christians because they're not supporting lawlessness. Got it. Coming from a left-wing hack. The same people that believe that men can be women and women can be men. It makes sense. At any rate, you guys, this guy had the nerve to do a press conference up there telling Pam Bundy, if you want to come after me, come on. And telling people that he reportedly received death threats from. If you want to kill me, kill me. And then had the nerve to state a Fred Hampton quote. Fred Hampton, a member of the real Black Panther Party, who was gunned down in his sleep at 21 years of age by the FBI for fighting for civil rights, for real causes that every human being should have. He had the nerve to state one of his quotes saying, you can kill the revolutionary, but you cannot kill the revolution. Sir, what is your revolution? Fraud and illegality? Because that's all you're fighting for. It reminds me of when the Democrats were on the Senate floor after Al Green, and not the one that I like, Love and Happiness, but the Congressman Al Green was about to be censored for disrupting Trump's State of the Union speech. You know, these Democrats have a pattern of disrupting things. At any rate, they had the nerve to sing "We Shall Overcome" on the Senate floor. After "We shall overcome." So you want to take the black people's struggle, who just got the right to start voting back in the 60s and 50s, who were being lynched. You got postcards, U.S. postcards of black men being lynched and maimed in this country, who were fighting to be able to live, couldn't sit in the front of the bus, couldn't drink out the same water fountains, couldn't eat in the same restaurants. So you're going to try to take your bullshit struggle and try to compare it to real struggles of African Americans? Just like the gay rights, trying to mix it in with civil rights, just because of your sexuality, what you want to do in your bedroom, you want to try to compare that struggle to the struggle of people that had dogs sicked on them and were being lynched and hung and had KKKs burning crosses? Give me a break. And I agree with most people with what they're saying, is that if it had happened in a mosque, it would have been a different result. Because if you would have went over to one of them nations overseas and interrupted the service, a Muslim nation, you know how Christians used to say, you won't leave out the same once you come into the service. Yeah, it would have been true for them if you had did that at a mosque. You would have came in alive and you would have left out potentially unalive.